Welcome to Own Your Words. Accident? Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Accident? Accident? It is a noun. Meaning. 1. An accident happens when a vehicle hits a person, an object, or another vehicle, causing injury or damage. 2. A happening that is not expected, foreseen, or intended. 3. Something bad that happens that is not expected or intended and that often damages something, or injures someone. 4. If something happens by accident, it happens completely by chance. Examples. 1. It was no accident that she was standing there at that precise moment. 2. There was little reference to any strategic planning for accident prevention. 3. For each of the matching criteria, an index is constructed over the set of accidents. 4. As with any race car, all accident avoidance responsibility rests with the driver. 5. Almost like an accident of nature, this family has produced more talent than seems possible. 6. But the focus there has been on race, during the period is no accident either. 7. She is mainly confined to her bed, having suffered a serious car accident and a stroke. 8. Sometimes when he was playing in the house, he would bump into his father by accident. 9. She dug up the business card of one of the officers, who had visited her after the accident. 10. I dropped a bit of blue paint on the bottom by accident, so I smeared it and made a river. 11. This time, Kayleen had the police report, including the pictures from the accident scene. 12. He had his hand out, helping me up, apologizing loudly, saying it was an accident. Basis. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Basis. Basis. It is a noun. Meaning. 1. If something is done on a particular basis, it is done according to that method, system, or principle. 2. If you say that you are acting on the basis of something, you are giving that as the reason for your action. 3. The basis of something is a point, or an important part of it from which it can be further developed. 4. The basis for something is a fact, or argument that you can use to prove or justify it. Examples. 1. I've always worked on the basis that any extra money would go into property. 2. McGregor must remain confined, on the basis of the medical reports we have received. 3. Both factions have broadly agreed that the UN plan is a possible basis for negotiation. 4. He has previously outlined concerns about the board and the basis for its power. 5. Barnett said the state requires that every bridge in Ohio is inspected on an annual basis. 6. Discrimination on the basis of race, gender, age or disability is not allowed. 7. The nurse is paid on an hourly basis. He was chosen on the basis of his college grades. 8. I quickly realized that I had to make my way, on the basis of my ability, not my heritage. 9. On the basis of these conditions, Negro leaders sought to negotiate with the city fathers. 10. This was the original, the basis for the artist's print that used to be on my living room wall. 11. In the first place, you had to be in love with a woman, to have a basis of friendship. 12. Island watchers for the Interceptor Command will be on duty on a 24-hour basis. Candidate. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Candidate. Candidate. It is a noun. Meaning. 1. A candidate is someone who is being considered for a position, for example someone who is running in an election, or applying for a job. 2. A candidate is someone who is studying for a degree at a college. 3. A candidate is a person or is regarded as being suitable for a particular purpose, or as being likely to do or be a particular thing. Examples. 1. Those who are overweight, or indulge in high-salt diets are candidates for hypertension. 2. Campaign disbursements are a proxy for the power and extent of a candidate's message. 3. 2 local control law candidates, for the stance ankle roll joint were compared. 4. The appropriate competition is, among the stress syllables in different candidates. 5. When Garfield arrived in Chicago, he didn't expect to leave as the presidential candidate. 6. Candidates should be at their desks 5 minutes before the start of the examination. 7. People who buy several souvenir buttons tell which candidate they are supporting. 8. The next day in class we continued talking about the 2 presidential candidates. 9. Of the 4 candidates who made it through their final test, only 2 were ordained. 10. Motherless candidates confused her, and in motherless elections she stayed at home. 11. The MIA members proposed many candidates, and Gray interviewed the most promising. 12. If she couldn't be the top astronaut candidate, Jackie decided she would be in charge. Database. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Database. Database. It is a noun. Meaning. 1. A database is a collection of data that is stored in a computer and that can easily be used and added to. 2. A database is an organized body of information. Libraries have lots of databases to help you find books, articles, or information. 3. A large amount of data stored in a computer system, so that you can find and use it easily. Examples. 1. One of the advantages of the database approach is that it permits the sharing of data. 2. 3 fields were chosen last season, each with an established yield database. 3. We'll flag the records of interest in the database, and then we can give you a printout. 4. Tape recordings of conversations are transcribed by typists and entered into the database. 5. They maintain a database of hotels that cater for those traveling with pets. 6. Please note that many publishers sell publication database to universities for profit. 7. I couldn't spend the rest of the week exploring the Sixer database like I'd planned. 8. David Petrikis, my lab partner, is writing a database program to track who got in where. 9. Then I pulled up the United States Citizen Registry database and attempted to log in. 10. The largest section of the database appeared to be devoted to information on Halliday. 11. Since the late 1980s, people had been putting up databases with internet access. 12. When I logged out of the database a few minutes later, Bryce Lynch no longer existed. Education. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Education. Education. It is a noun. Meaning. 1. Education involves teaching people various subjects, usually at a school or college, or being taught. 2. Education of a particular kind involves teaching the public about a particular issue. 3. The process of teaching or learning, especially in a school or college, or the knowledge that you get from this. Examples. 1. It's a disgrace that the government spends so much on guns, and so little on education. 2. Most children in the UK remain in full-time education, until they are at least 16 years old. 3. On another occasion, the paper attributed similar powers to technical education. 4. Paul prolonged his education with 6 years of advanced study in English. 5. Americans have always had a clear idea of the purpose of higher education. 6. I feel awful that Dad had to die, because I put my education before his health. 7. The kid could have a future, at least get a college education out of the game. 8. Cannot students be boarded here, and get a liberal education under the skies of Concord? 9. Of Waynflete's education it is only possible to assert, that he was at Oxford University. 10. Since 1910 education other than elementary is, under the control of the Union Parliament. 11. Even in the field of education, however, support is skewed in favor of foreign students. 12. Higher education was long forbidden, and is consistently opposed by the old order.
If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos.